Sorry about that.
You don't even have to say that.
What? Oh, that's true. They wouldn't have known otherwise.
It's on the video.
Yeah, it's on the video. Okay, it's Wednesday, the 4th of January, 2023. It's 7:06. I'm Regan Starkey, last year's chairman. Larry Marks, last year's vice chairman, is here. Brent Hunter is here, and Rich Linder is here. Absent is Herb Klebaum and our alternate, Tony Marco. Our zoning inspector is also in attendance, Jeff Ship. So this is the first meeting of the year, so we're gonna have an organizational meeting and elect officers as such. So if you guys, I can't make the motion, so somebody else can make it. If you wanna keep them the same,
I make a motion, we keep all the officers the same.
My second.
there. Brett second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's done. Okay, we're the same. All right. We're here to discuss text amendments. And, last meeting, we talked about, keeping the book the same this year so that we don't have to rush. We only have 2.5 months to make any changes, cause it has to be done by March 1st. So we're gonna keep the book the same.
So we can buy March.
So we can go past March and address some things that are wrong not wrong, need updated in the book. That's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Need updated.
What's the March 1st deadline for?
That's for Stark County Township zoning amendment book.
It's kinda like you gotta get with the reporter.
They never had that before. We used to do it any time of the year we wanted, but this is different now. They're saying March 1st, you have to have all your amendments made.
For the year?
Yep.
And if you're gonna do a new book, which they want you to, by my
Okay.
report.
So what we decided in the best interest of just not rushing into it, just keep it the same this year, make our amendments, and at the end of the year, we'll have all our amendments
Okay.
hashed out.
Yep.
We can send them in, and they got 2 months to get it back to us then next year.
That's good.
What we got is, I was talking to Sandy today, and what we're gonna do is, keep focused on it, and we downloaded the resolution today, alright? We got it all down, and Sandy's got it, and what she's gonna do is she's gonna make folders for everybody, and then she's gonna take out like 7 or 8 pages of this resolution.
For each meeting.
We work on that,
Yep.
and when that's done, then we'll take those 8 pages out, and we'll take the next 8 pages and stick in there.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll work on
and we stay organized, and she will take and be taking what you do, and the changes in there, and she will be rewriting this book as we go. Alright, so at the end of the year, we'll send it.
We'll send an amended book
a new whole book.
to the prosecutor, and then they can say, we don't like this, we don't like that.
But it's a start.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea. I think we don't wanna rush into some of this stuff.
Well, they said, you know, if they have something like that at the next training meeting, share notes or whatever you wanna do, you know, or they're gonna keep sending, who's ever secretary here, when we get those pamphlets together, like, Randy Lombardi, we're gonna hand them to him, and then he's gonna hand them out, so there's a secretary in this board, we're gonna hand them to you, and you hand them out. We'll stay like an organized 2 zoning groups, and then you're supposed to actually hand it to the chairman, and the chairman, okays to hand these things out to people, alright, if you're still secretary. So that's how it's supposed to go.
Okay.
And, there was something else too, before I forget, you know that little pamphlet where it says the RPC, she handed that little thing about text amendments?
Mm-hmm.
There was something in the top of it, I was talking to Sandy about it, and I think we're missing a form. Because, it says in there that a request has to come in to you, alright? And you're supposed to hand it over to the chairman, a request for review. Well, if you guys are the only ones doing the text amendments and you're requesting yourselves to review it, you know, it's kinda weird, but we need a form on there because it says send the copy to the RPC.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any form that we can send. I'm actually writing up.
Or amendments.
Yeah.
But we're allowed to amend things. The
Mhm.
trustees are allowed to request amendments.
Right.
And the public's allowed to request amendments.
Yes, there's 3 things that way. That's why it says request. It's more
Yeah.
of, well, why while you guys are doing it, yeah, we actually need a form that I can send, and I talked to Sandy about that today, that will be filled out, that I can actually make a copy of and send it to the RPC, you know, the regional planning, cause that's what it states. A
Yeah.
copy of it, we never have a copy.
We don't have a copy if we don't have a form.
Okay, I get this. So that's probably, you know, this could be one of the things where I'm like, well, you guys will have to wait till we get the minutes. Well, we can't do that because I have to have it in 5 days.
5 days.
Yes, and we don't have a form for that.
Okay.
So we need, Sandy and I will be working on the form and we'll hand it over. And then, as something like that night or something, and then Sandy can put it to the things and we can mail it out to them,
Okay.
you know?
Yep.
That could be why there's confusion between us and.
Yeah. Okay, so we need a form for making amendments to the book.
The request.
Right. Do you have a form for zoning changes? Cause that's our other job, I mean. People.
Well, if they request a change like in the district, yes, we have.
You
that.
have that form?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, that one we got, and
Okay.
then that would explain, and, yeah, cause we're kind of, things are getting funny, that, you know, where the county's making changes and stuff. And
Yes.
And it kind of threw us off there for a little bit, and,
Remember at that seminar we went to, the picture that was on the board of how everything gets changed?
Mhm.
And you took a picture of it and it wasn't, they changed all that.
Of course.
Remember, it was all convoluted, yeah, but it's all, but they changed all
Okay.
you know,
So anyway,
we have 2 books we're working with, though. We're doing Lexington and, Nimishillen Township, or Lake. That we're looking at Lake, and if you wanna see something when you're doing, go to Lake or Lexington. It's kinda funny, you know, I don't know if you were here last time when, we have these, and we were talking about when I looked at the book when I got back. Hold on a second.
well, one was a definition for single family.
Yeah, you know what Pan said? 25 years that's been there, nobody's seen that.
Well,
So-
zoning was written in 1970, we haven't ever saw that before, a single family dwelling, have no more than 5 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
Maybe we should update that.
some of these things like this, like the, for township agriculture exempted, we don't need all this stuff in here. We don't deal with that, we don't have no permits for it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's no permit here.
Mhm.
There's an affidavit that they go get filled out, I don't sign it.
By the county.
Yeah, and it's county work, and they give me an affidavit that says, that they go get signed and stamped and says, hey, I'm gonna use this building for agriculture.
Did you see the one up by Old
Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's huge. It's like
Yeah,
a
it's-
factory.
It's like the Taj Mahal movie. Yeah,
Got 3 cupolas, windmills.
yeah, see, in the Lexington book, this is real small. It just tells you where to go in the ORC to read it. And the funny part is there's another one, this part here, something like that, they got this size, and I'm thinking, we just take the 2 smaller and start focusing on RRC, and just say, you know, cause we can go read that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and stuff like that, we kinda like know what's in there. But we can actually probably get this book down and make it smaller. That's what we're looking for, and like I said, the BZA
Simple.
says, if we don't have any, if we have no authority, why it's it? Because people expect when they open this book, cause they read it,
Mm-hmm.
we don't. You know, like license plates on cars, we don't.
Yeah,
That's
we
not
can't.
us.
That's not us.
No, so they said, and then I think, Lake really does a good job because they come out with the topic and then they do bullet points.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's really condensed and really neat looking, you know?
Hmm.
And that's what this one here is kinda like copy paste and,
We did a lot of that over the years, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of adapting ours to,
yeah, it's like oil and gas drilling, and, you know, we ever talked about that,
yeah.
doesn't need to be in there. You know?
Yeah.
We can put sections in there, you know, real, cause that's what somebody was doing the heading of oil and gas drilling, and then they would just put the section under the ORC, and that's all.
Well, that's what's in ours.
Yeah,
It says oil and gas drilling, ORC,
Section-
1980. So that's a good thing.
Yeah,
maybe we could get a lot more of the ORC headings in there.
yeah,
Under
and
certain
start condensing and really.
I mean, page
put
4
good
or
stuff
5,
in.
that's all that is, really, is all ORC stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, last night I was working with them on, some of the words and we actually went through because I talked to one of the trustees today and the word reconstructed. See, but a lot of these things I don't have a clarification, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have fees for them. You know, and reconstructed, what does that mean to some and some to others, you know, and how that works? And,
Reconstructed as in,
well, say it, part of it burns down and you're gonna reconstruct it. They've already paid for the area and the use, you know what I mean? And I thought to myself, I told the BZA, maybe the use will come back and they might change something in the, rebuilding of it. We don't know. But I said, you know what, have them come in anyways and tell you, you know, make sure they're gonna be putting it back the way it was. Cause we have to know area and use.
yeah, yeah, altering current structure would be something different than replacing current structure.
Right, and then reconstructed might be, you know, changed, we can take some of the wording out of there. for
Change
that.
footprint or whatever, yeah.
And this is kinda like what's up here is here, kinda weird. You know, the one is 5192, one 512, but it still seems kinda like the same kinda stuff.
well, where do we begin?
Page 2. Serious.
I like page 3.
Okay.
Potential.
Yeah, that's a good one to start with. Do we need
Leave it alone,
those?
we're not messing with that.
That's a good one. Intentionally, by the way. We know your intent.
That's true.
Yeah. So we know the purpose, we have to put the purpose and performance, that always has to be in there. That's in everybody's book.
Yep.
So we go over into the first one, interpretation of standards. Yeah, that's why I wrote on that one, and there's also English things in here, you know what I mean? You gotta watch, don't make some inanimate object look like it's a human being. It's English, man. My mother-in-law was an English teacher, so I used to get it, like their interpretation, and that it should be the. There's little things in here, and like I said, I put a notes here in my book, I don't know, you all have books?
Yes.
Yeah, I put here, change to Lexington's because they went down to like almost 2 lines for the agriculture. And we don't need that in there, you know,
Where at?
page 4.
Oh, you guys are way ahead of me. I gotta skip over the blank page.
We're advanced class.
Agriculture.
Yeah, see, all he did was put the section to such and such, and confer no power. You know, it's funny, I see the word power and I think you should say authority, you know what I mean? Confer no authority on any township, it's power is kinda weird, it's kinda like, could be electrical power,
Yeah.
you know, something like that. Yeah, we got stuff in there, and people read these things and they get confused on usually the second paragraph, and then they go kinda off a little bit on that, but. And C is more or less CAUV. Just, you know. Yeah, and it's, you know, public utilities, will be governed in accordance with the old pertaining to public utilities, we don't even mess with that, do we? Do we? You know what I mean? I actually have a template letter that I now have to send out to the county anytime somebody puts something on one of these, communication towers. I just take it out, put it in, I change the name, because they gotta know that we have no authority over the towers.
You mean the, cellular towers or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've established that with the
Right,
5G thing.
Yeah.
When 5G.
Yeah,
came
they
out.
told us.
Like, yeah, you want 5G, they get it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
We can make a mole. You know, they don't mow around, cause I asked the lawyer up there, I said, we can make a mole.
Yeah.
And because it becomes a nuisance, that covers it, but anything they put on that tower, we got no authority to tell them what to do.
No. ask them to pay for a permit. That's the only other thing I can remember they said.
If they're gonna put one up, they have to do something like a variance.
They have to get they should, we don't have that in our book, that they should get a permit, but we're allowed to do that by the government, by the federal government.
Right.
But anything else, they're allowed to put it wherever they want it, whenever they want it, as big as they want it, we have no, and so, I mean, but that's the cell towers. There's a lot of other public utilities, but they're all governed by the Ohio Revised Code.
Again, this whole section is just interpretation, so
Yeah.
anybody that comes in can reference this and say, okay, public utilities means this,
Yeah,
or retail establishment means,
Yeah,
and then reference Ohio Revised Code.
And
So
it
that's all
tells-
this whole section is,
Yeah.
I don't know, you gotta do a whole lot to it.
no, I don't.
you can actually do like, the bottom one's actually a real good one, that outdoor advertising.
Uh-huh,
That's about when you really see something that actually looks good, you know what I mean? It gives you reference where you can go.
right,
Yeah, it tells you a little bit about it, but not, doesn't lead off in all this,
Mhm.
you know.
Everything.
Yeah, we don't need to, you know, it's like the ORC, they don't tell you everything in that, they give you a number you can go to somewhere else to find
Mhm.
the rest of it, you know what I mean?
yeah.
We should stick with that idea.
Well, I think that some of the stuff we have, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
public utilities, it says, hey, go to 519-221, you know.
yeah, both, Plain and, Lake and Lexington do what you see in 310-2.
Right.
Yeah, they do a lot of that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of that. The agricultural, we went a little bit deep on that, but it looks like, if you look at B on 310-1, it looks like we used those sections, 71105, 71109, 7111, it looks like we used them and then just told what that is. 1, 2, and 3.
So you can take a piece out of there.
Yeah, I mean, you could eliminate the 1, 2, and 3 if you wanted to, but it's just expounding on what the Ohio Revised Code says. It's copied,
Yeah.
that's just copied from them. But I don't have a problem with that being in here, just so they don't have to go look at 71105, 71109,
What happens is, it's not us, it's the public comes in and they start on it,
Mhm.
and I can't tell you because this is all in there, and not everything is in here.
If it's
Right.
if it's
No, I know,
missing a
not
couple
everything.
words,
But they think it is.
if it's missing a couple words or
Yeah.
it's not ordered correctly,
It's done.
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
But I'm saying in that particular instance, 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3 are those 3
Yeah.
codes up there.
You
And
could,
we copied right from,
you could put them on there, but, cause I think Lake does a line and then it bullet points those, you know, but it doesn't go right into all this. You know, well, if you're dairy and then you're doing horses and cows and stuff, they don't do that.
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that it is right from, I'm sure that was copied right from Ohio
It was.
Revised Code.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a copy and pasted book.
Yes,
No.
yes,
And we don't need this stuff in there. I'll bring the other books, next meeting, and you can really see and look at those, or come down to the office, I got them on the corner of the desk.
I'm never there. I was there today,
Oh,
yesterday, recycling cardboard. And today was Wednesday, and the compost was open. Compost was open Wednesday. Okay, so, we'll think about that, but, like I said, I know that it's copy and pasted, cause that's what we did.
Well, you know what, a lot of stuff got copied and pasted over the years.
Uh-huh.
It's like Rich Peterson stating that, they did something back in the 1990s, can't find it.
Yeah,
Can't find it, we look for it.
Huh.
You know what I mean? And then there was stuff I've been digging through in the archives, and I come across something like, what's this? They copied and pasted something from ORC and it said, we accept that. I'm like, what is that?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we've even done, and I know that other townships have done this as well, copied ours and pasted it. East Kent did our Airbnb. It's exactly in their book.
Wind
as it is.
energy, all that
Yeah.
stuff we did.
That's
They
right.
wanted to know if the B and B was in here.
It should be.
It should be, we haven't done the book yet.
It should be an amendment that,
Yeah, our last 2 years and stuff with COVID and stuff, and been going over this, and then, we were doing other amendments.
uh-huh,
We probably in that folder I gave you.
Hmm.
You know, for the B and B.
Hmm.
Because until we put it in here, nobody knows that we're the original authors.
Yeah,
But the trustees voted on it.
Right.
It's done.
and then it's, and when they accepted it, it's dated.
Mhm.
Just like if you look at any of these, amended effective 1/7/1995. That's how that Airbnb is, even though it's not in this book. It was supposed to be pages that we slip in.
Sure.
I've sent it to maybe 4 townships in the state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it down there on the computer somewhere, and I just,
Send it to them if they request
yeah,
it.
here's our B and B, we did.
Yeah, cause like I said, I took what we passed and handed it to Osnaburg,
Did you? That's right.
and they said they wanted it,
Mhm.
and they put it in their book, just like it. Or they made an amendment and didn't get it in the book yet. I've never seen their book, I haven't went online and looked at it. Okay, now we're getting to, definitions. And I guess what we'll have to do is, I think I'm gonna give everybody homework.
That's what happened last night. It did.
You
Yeah.
guys go home and in the next month, read the definitions and write on them. Write on them, wherever you want. If you disagree with something, write on it. If you question something, write on it.
Suggestions on.
Yeah, suggestions, and, cause I'm not gonna go through all these tonight and look at them.
You know what they, Lucci said he was looking at it, and he said some of these definitions aren't even in the rest of the book. They're not even found anywhere, they're just in.
Well, we've been doing that lately on purpose,
Well, you know what the county,
because something could come up.
yes, and the county said, well, you wanna work on that, cause it's where it all starts.
Yeah,
You know?
if you don't have a definition, you can't put it anywhere else in the book. Cause you can't describe it anywhere else, you say, well, we say that there's no, adult entertainment use here. What's adult entertainment use?
Exactly.
If you don't have a definition, you can't put it in the back of the book.
Yeah, that's what.
That was just a poor example, I could have fixed it.
Sure, sure.
Every year, I
Yeah,
know,
I know.
every year.
I know.
It's that same.
Field trip.
There is some. It's not a cute.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's that, accessory use building, there you go. If you don't have accessory use as a definition, you can't put it anywhere else in the book. So what we've done, and we've done it a lot more in the last 2 or 3 years, is we put definitions in before we put it anywhere else in the book. Because that way we can reference that and say, hey, you can't have an alley here, if we don't know what an alley is.
Yeah, that was weird, and after I read definitions on them things, I'm like, man, good thing we did something not too
Yeah,
long ago.
so I don't have a problem with the definitions, but I think we need to update them, and like I said, the one that I saw the other day for single family dwelling, I'm like, whoa. And I don't even see it in here now, I found it last time.
Oh, the single family dwelling?
Yeah.
It's under dwelling.
Dwelling, that's right, it's under dwelling, not single family.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Dwelling, single family, not more than 5 lodgers or boarders.
Something else too, don't forget the fair housing.
No,
They told us from the state, we need to get into these because some of our stuff is old.
Yeah.
And we gotta watch what the wording and stuff is and what, alright?
yeah,
This
See,
is one of the.
that last was amended 28 years ago. So it's probably due for an
Yeah,
upgrade.
there's probably some stuff in there.
But there again, all of those were updated in 95.
But we
That's a
can't-
long time ago.
You can't put something in there to stop something from the future too, you know what I mean?
Right,
Be proactive,
yeah,
you know, anti-fair housing.
yes. Okay, so that's your homework, guys, for next month, is read the definitions, mark on them, highlight them, whatever you wanna do.
Suggestion.
Yeah.
They were out on a call.
They're just coming back.
Okay. I'm on page 20 because I skipped all the definitions. We're not gonna do a whole lot more of this, because we got some old business too. But, establishment of districts, I don't have a problem with any of that.
That's good.
20 and 21 done. Cause it's just saying we have the right to establish districts, which we do. We have the power. Authority. You don't understand the concept of power. Okay, that's where we're gonna stop because the conformance is a lot. And that's page 22. So next month, we're gonna look at the definitions and maybe start on some of the conformance, cause that's a lot. That's a lot to digest. So, some old business we have is, commercial barriers and parking. Parking, is that in reference to commercial trailers?
Yeah, in reference to the recreational.
Okay,
Now, the guy did move the trailers out,
yes,
and
So-
we came up with a place for him to take, and they were a little bit too much, so he searched a little more. He found better places to put his stuff.
Okay. So the parking, Larry, is about commercial trailers, cause in our book, we only have recreational trailers. Can't be parked in the front of the property.
Okay.
So the trustees would like us to look at that for commercial trailers in the front, because we don't have that in our book. I don't have a problem with it, but, you know,
There was something about trailers too, and they were calling them vehicles. And I looked it up, and it said that, vehicle is something that transports people down the road.
It has to be powered,
Yeah.
propulsion,
yeah.
Yes.
something.
Oh, back to power.
The authority to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
Trailer per se isn't
It's
a
not.
propulsion vehicle.
Right, it doesn't move by itself,
Right,
but then a recreational vehicle can be,
Yes.
yes.
and that's why we said we didn't want them parked out front. So I don't know if we wanna look at that any further, or cause you're talking about, when you say commercial trailers, you're not talking about semi-truck trailers,
No,
you're talking about, landscape trailers.
Yes.
Things like, of that nature,
right.
being parked in the
Mm.
front.
But
So,
There's nothing in our book about it. So are you allowed?
but you're okay to have a semi-trailer, but not a,
It's a
No, I
mile
know.
long,
uh-huh.
it's a mile long.
That's what our book says.
from your,
But it doesn't say anything about commercial trailers, but it does say stuff about members
We did
semi-trailers.
update some of it to increase the length of the
Fifty,
commercial
yeah.
trailer.
up
Right.
to 53 foot or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah, which is.
for your livelihood.
I would say that would cover your landscape trailer.
Yeah, the one, with the part B over in, Lake, you're allowed up to a 1-ton vehicle in the driveway. 1 ton. So I'm like, okay,
So not a dump truck, not a semi,
Well, 53 foot semi trailers
that kills a lot, don't it?
yeah.
weighs
I know.
more than one ton.
I know.
Well, I talked to, somebody today and told him, I said, you know what, we're gonna bring this stuff, and I know that there's gonna be some people that don't like it, and it's gonna come back to us, but we really like for you to look at it yourselves. Cause you know what the authority that, you know what I mean, they can override. My problem is, I worry about is that it doesn't go with a comprehensive 2040 plan, and they run us to court and override us. I don't know. But I think, you know, they gave a lot of power, a lot of authority to the trustees to do stuff local,
Mm-hmm.
so I,
Again, we said we weren't gonna impede a person's right to make a living.
That's right, so you're talking landscape trailers, he's making a living.
I mean, unless they wanna delineate somehow those, what the trailers are used for. I'm dying.
if you need water in the back of my truck, there's a little.
No,
Alright.
Yeah, I always go back to little certain things like this, is why people move to the township to have more.
Yes, they tell
Freedom.
me that all the time. Freedom to do, you know,
More. Not everything, but
Right.
freedom to do more.
yeah, you're right.
Now, the guy's backing his 53 foot semi truck trailer in every night and letting it sit there for weeks and months, that's different, I think.
yeah,
the average Joe pulling his landscape truck in and his 16-foot trailer behind it.
Yeah, you know, it's
Right.
moving, constantly moving and.
I know there's
Is
some,
this back to the Broadway thing last year with all the landscape trucks in the front yard? Is that what this
No,
started from?
no,
No?
no, this is a different thing. This is something completely different.
Yeah,
I think we should stick to worrying about semi-trailers and leave the smaller guys alone.
I kinda agree. I mean,
There's gotta be a certain point to where we just gotta, hey, the dude's not technically hurting anybody.
yeah, there was no intent to do harm, there was no harm done. It's just, somebody drove by and saw it and turned it in.
And did they have a beef with that guy? Who knows?
Yeah, they didn't know.
didn't know, that's the funny part. Wasn't even from this township.
Then keep driving.
Oh,
And I had a trailer, two
Yes,
houses down.
please,
trailer
drive
jumped
through.
on it. Nobody turned that one in.
Thanksgiving.
Found out it was he that once turned the guy in, one with the junk.
I think if it's not in the book, we deal with it as case
Are you
I
situation.
think we gotta focus on
Can we do that?
the greater good.
What's that?
If it's not in the book, can't we just deal with it as needed? Can't the BZA deal with it as needed?
If it's not in the book, it's not supposed to be allowed.
Yeah, I don't run around without code.
Yeah,
I'll let you
it's
do
not.
that.
I mean, that goes back to our old 777 thing.
Yeah, and if
We
I
don't
forget,
have
I give it
anything
to this
there
guy
about
down
it.
there and
That's
I
not
It's
don't.
not permitted. So,
Yeah,
I think we should worry about other stuff.
Yeah. But take stuff out of there that we know we have no authority over.
Right.
That way people aren't calling me in, like, there's grass on the street, I got no authority, and there is no law in the world to get rid of farmers.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, people don't look at it like that, and
Right.
you can't be just somebody puts a crown on your head, gets out of the truck and say, remove that. You know what I mean? You
Well-
can't do that.
That's a problem with discarded or dilapidated vehicles.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing about it. We can say we don't want them here, but
All the health department.
yeah, that's all, and it takes about a year to get rid of it.
So for the trailers, while we do this, we're gonna go through this book
Yeah.
page by page. Show them until we get to that page, then we can talk more
You
detail.
know, they said,
I like that.
what would it take for two boards to look at something, you know, a month maybe? Maybe it'd take a month to go through this, or 2 months?
3, 4?
I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, realistically.
Yeah,
Let's
it
do
takes
it
time.
Once a month.
Yeah, we only meet once a month. You can't get through half of it today. So,
We can't get through 2 pages.
yeah, that's
So you
right.
got, you know, you gotta start figuring out what you're gonna do.
Have goals.
Could write stuff down and say, you know what, these are the procedures we're gonna run, and we're gonna stay with these policies, and every time you look, what do they do, you get a list of some, and you throw it at it, to see if anything sticks, you know what I mean, and then say, what does this? You know what I mean, you know, we got a sign out there that says, zone for your protection, well, you know, getting leaves off the things, and somebody mowing a yard, you know, they're talking about the value of your property.
Yes,
Compared to the one, that's the only
Yeah.
protection I can think of,
that's the only thing I could think of.
yeah,
Yeah.
keeping the value of your land and your property. Is it,
Okay, what's the commercial barriers? I don't even know what that is. That says old business. Anybody?
Is that like the buffering around the building or something?
Wasn't that part of the discussion on the Dollar General out by Bud's at one point? And then that spun into that whole, we ought to have some stipulation
Architectural
on what the
committee.
commercial barriers should be.
No.
Then we went into, we should have an agricultural board, or I'm sorry, an architectural board to
Yeah.
approve this stuff. I think that's where that came from.
you know what I think what the problem is that the architectural thing, we got businesses around here that do landscaping, they don't want no wood being able to.
Dictate what they can do.
Yeah,
But there again, that was only for commercial properties.
right.
We weren't telling people what they can do at their house.
No, just to have a standard to say.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be something the board could set something, some regulations up and the BZA could use it. You know, I did it down there at Dunkin' Donuts, you know what I mean, I told them we would like some trees here
Yeah,
to block your,
yeah.
they did it.
According to the Ohio Revised Code, if we have an architectural board, which I have volunteered
Yeah.
our whole committee 3 times, we have to have an engineer on it. And none of us are engineers.
DE or?
If you can get one.
It just says engineer, it's
Yeah.
very generic.
If,
A
There's one
engineer,
available.
an engineer. It doesn't say what kind.
right, if it's available. And you can use, this board can actually go to the trustees
So we
and say,
need- how
we
many-
need funding
How
to
many
hire
would we have, one a
consultant.
year?
That's
We could
available.
probably get somebody.
You know,
But that's what the Ohio Revised Code, it said an engineer, it doesn't say mechanical, doesn't say,
Agricultural.
it doesn't say any kind, it says an engineer.
Oh, you know, you can get somebody that knows the, landscaping like Herbie.
Well, I know, that's why I want Herb here for that, you know, cause he knows landscaping.
It's
He's not a
consultant.
landscaping engineer.
It's consultant, you know, and you can put barriers on yourself. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, these are parameters we're gonna set for ourselves, and we are not going over them, but it was, yeah, without explanation, it was an answer of no.
Yeah,
I don't like it, I like people listening to you and
Yeah.
seeing, you know, hearing you,
yeah.
that's me. But, you try again, keep knocking it.
That's what I
Okay.
came from, I think.
Yeah, that's where that was. Okay, so the only thing that I got left is, we're gonna go through this folder real quick and then we're gonna call it a night, guys. This is some old business of minutes and things. This one is October 12th. I wasn't here, so you have to run that show.
Alright.
I'll let you do that while I'm looking at the other stuff.
And the one for December, we don't have ready yet,
Okay,
and we just got that.
and that, well, you sent it to us by email. We could approve it, but we can't sign it.
That's Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy sent an email today.
Oh, she got it done.
Yeah, the December 12 minutes came today.
Yeah.
That's right, she
Yeah,
was
I
listening.
did get that, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's good, and we're all caught up.
Well, like I said, we can approve them, but we can't sign it. I'm gonna rubber stamp these. You got a pen?
I do.
That's June. You don't have to sign this one.
Oh, I also found the code for, videoing for the state of Ohio. Alright, so I'm gonna be handing that to the board also. Because, it has everything on there, on when somebody's videotaping you, when it is illegal.
Okay.
Alright, and, it has on there when it is legal. Cause it is a question, we are being taped, and then you can tell, you know you're being taped right now, and you can see it, but when you feel that you're private and find out later you're not, that's,
That's a big one.
yeah.
That happened to me, actually.
This was in there too.
And one of the big things is if the camera's set up, you need
two
digital
signatures,
visual,
right? These things legal.
not around the thing
Yeah,
of videotaping.
Nobody else was there.
But also one-on-one where they
Yeah,
actually
no.
have to be in the
This
conversation.
was October, there was more than just.
I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know,
gave
it says I
Sandy,
was
she's
absent.
probably gonna email to you, what's it, but it shows
Okay.
what's
Also,
So,
on that-
I've seen a lot of that online
Yeah.
lately with people, you know,
I'm just trying to get some of these out.
They'll go to a
There was only
place
room for
in
one
video,
on some of
and they
these,
think it's
so I signed it.
technically
It's a
allowed.
ball game, it's a ball game, you can
That's right.
expect someone's gonna swing that thing around. They
That's
can't
October, I wasn't here to sign that.
get up close to you and just be
Here
videotaping
somewhere.
your conversation, somebody can't do that.
January sixth.
Supposed to be wiretap.
I'm sorry. 2 years ago. Oh,
It needs signed. That's why it's in this folder, cause it was never
Seriously?
signed. Yeah.
Oh,
That's before COVID shut us down. That was our last meeting before COVID.
Hey, if you're on Eastland, that, house that was arson,
What's that?
you know, Eastland, the house that got burned,
Oh, yeah.
the arson, yeah. Called up and here the guy actually lives here, investigator, lives in Nimishillen Township. It's kind of funny, it was a state matter, and he said, we have no hold on that house at all, he go ahead and tear that thing down.
Huh.
Which was a good thing, so we're working on that to get that, if anybody talks about it or something like that. We finally got the okay
So it's on Eastland,
Yeah. Eastland and,
Man? No, not Man.
no, man, it would've been, Willis.
Willis, okay.
Yeah, on the corner, yeah, there's a garage there and there's a, yeah, we got the okay to do what we need to do.
The next meeting, it will be the first Wednesday in February. We're locked in with that because it's published now, we don't have to publish it, it's always the first Wednesday of the month.
We did a yearly.
Yep.
22, 23.
Alright, so that's it for tonight, I make a motion to adjourn,
I second that.
all in favor say aye,
Aye.
we're out of here.
Did you want me to, you need this for?